Hey, my name is Katie Pijanowski, and I'm a certified life coach and motivational speaker, and I'm here to help you unlock your true strength so you can create the life of your dreams. I teach you my best tips to master your mindset, create confidence, and empower yourself to take back your life. It's your time. This is the Mind and Body Strong podcast. What's up? Hey, it's Katie Pijanowski coming to you live. Friends, I'm about to drop some knowledge for you. Actually, I want to share with you today, if you saw the title of this, it's called When the Body Says No. And this is actually my takeaways from a doctor named Gabor Mate, I believe I'm saying his name correctly, who wrote a book called When the Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress. And I want to kind of talk to you about some of my takeaways from his learnings. I actually haven't read the book, but my dad introduced me to I can't say his name, Gabor Mate, I believe is how you say his name. It's Gabor. His last name is Mate with a little asterisk thing over the E. So you can look him up on YouTube. That's actually how I got introduced to him. My dad introduced me to him on YouTube. And I started watching some of his talks on how the body is impacted by stress and how our bodies hold on to stress and how the hidden effects of stress in our life can really impact our health long term. So he talks about exploring the mind and body link in conditions such as arthritis, diabetes, IBS, scoliosis, heart disease. So it's really, really interesting. And as I'm very into like the health and life and like full body wellness, my business is called Mind and Body Strong because I feel like the mind and body connection and like connecting and like working together in partnership, our mind and bodies is like so essential to living your like ultimate life, which is what I'm all about as a life coach. And I love his teachings because he brings the science behind the beliefs that I really hold true for me and my clients. And that's that the impacts on stress they can be so impactful to our bodies and to our overall health and to our experience of life, and can actually promote our bodies to have diseases. And I think this is just such important information to have, I think, especially in the world we're in today, but really every day, because as we have low levels of stress in our life every single day, our body is responding to that by maybe not digesting food the way that we should be. Maybe we are breaking out, or we're really exhausted, or we start to like act out at other people because we're experiencing low levels of stress all the time. And it really has a big impact on our bodies. And if we don't clear that up and also learn how to like say no to things, we are going to just cause so much like pent up stress and anxiety within our body. And to be quite frank, I wasn't very attuned to this myself. So this is something I had to build awareness to. So if you're just hearing this for the first time and you're like, what in the world? I do actually have a really great bonus episode on the Mind and Body Strong podcast that you can download on any podcast platform. It's a bonus episode called the Gut Wisdom Meditation. This is actually a meditation I take my one-on-one clients through, but it's so impactful that I included it on the podcast. There's also a link you can download a worksheet that my team has created to help walk you through what some of the pent-up stress in your body might mean, and asking you some questions to really dive deep into, like, for example, if you're holding a lot of tension in your arms, what might you be holding on to that isn't yours? So like some really, really insightful questions. And whenever I do this with my clients, they're always like, whoa, I had no idea my body was trying to tell me all of these things. And like when you close your eyes and actually like become like actually sit into your body and quiet your mind, you can find so much information. It's like crazy. So I want to throw that out there, that's a totally free meditation I have on the podcast that you can listen to and download the worksheet. So the takeaways that I want to share with you about Gabor Mate's work with The Body Says No, The Cost of Hidden Stress, is he shares 4 questions to ask. I held up 3 fingers. I meant 4. You can't see me if you're listening to this on the podcast, so it's fine. But 4 questions to ask to explore hidden stress in your life. And I thought these were really great to be able to help you to decipher, is there hidden stress in my life? Is there a place where maybe I need to take a step back and to relax and to ask myself these questions and really like explore and be curious, right? So question number 1, and I do have these written, we've got in important areas of my life, what am I not saying no to? For example, I put in quotes here just to remind us where you feel you might be a no, but don't express it. How many times do we do this in our life? Like daily. Say yes to things that we actually mean no to because we just want to people please, or we don't want people to think badly of us. Like, what if we just said no to those things that are not our priorities and like release the fact that we are not responsible for someone else's feelings and how that impacts them? That is something I'm really focusing on next week in my self-care challenge. So another shout out to the self-care challenge that's going on in my Facebook group, also free, that you guys can come join, and we're going to talk live about all of these things. So question number 2 to ask yourself is, what is the impact of my difficulty in saying no in any area of life? So what is the impact on your physical health? What's the impact on your spiritual health? Are you feeling kind of out of alignment? How about your relationships? How about your emotional health? How is not saying no really impacting you? I can tell you that I was in a relationship for a very long time that I just said yes to everything, and I built up so much resentment towards this person because I wasn't willing to say no to the things that were not for me and to say yes for the things that were. So honoring your yes and no is like so important for all aspects of your well-being, physical, emotional, spiritual, mental, all of it. We need to be able to honor like what's true for us, and to also like know that we're able to handle the negative emotions that might pop up when someone gets mad when we say no. Unfortunately, what happens, and I kind of see myself as more of an empath, I'm just very like attuned to energies of other people. I'm learning to just stay in my own energy. But if you often find yourself being very affected by how other people are reacting, I think it's very important for you to know that as you decide to shift towards saying yes and no to things that make sense for you, that you can handle whatever negative emotions other people decide to have, because you're not responsible for that. You get to be responsible for you, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, the results you decide to create in your life. Someone else getting mad at you for not fulfilling a request that you once maybe have done and now you said no is totally on them. And I've had to do this a couple of times in my life, and it can be really uncomfortable, like not gonna lie. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Like they're gonna not like me. But they eventually get over it, and if they're really someone that needs to be in your life, they will forgive you. So I wanna give you that also with that question. Number 3, what is the hidden story behind my inability to say no? I have to be strong, or I'm responsible for others' feelings, which I just talked. These are just a couple of examples. But if you are living by the story of I'm responsible for how other people feel, you will always be disappointed, my friends. I was just talking to someone the other day, and I was like, listen, you only get to control your thoughts, your actions, and your feelings in this situation. What that other person decides to do and respond with is on them. So you have to really ask yourself, like, how do I want to show up in this situation? What's the kind of person that I want to be? And to work to living up to this, right? So another story I wrote down, like, I have to be strong all the time. Or I have to pretend everything's fine. I mean, whatever story you might be living with, and we just like to report these. My one coach likes to say, we like to report these stories like they're the news, but we never question them. Like, well, is that even serving you to think that you have to be strong all the time and you're running yourself into the ground, you're like not paying attention to your physical and mental and spiritual health? Is that really serving you? Is that really helping you become the best version of yourself? Really ask yourself that and be honest. And when I say that, I'm also coming from a place of just like being curious and not judging yourself. When we're going into self-exploration and really challenging ourselves to become the best versions of ourselves, we have to go in with a non-judgmental curiosity mindset. Because oftentimes when we take a hard, honest look at our life, when we want to transform, sometimes we are very disappointed when we realize that we have driven our lives to this path. And that's something that I had to deal with and I still deal with. Heck, I go through it every freaking day where I have to be honest about where I'm at in my situations, in my different areas of life. And I have to get really honest with myself and say, is this really working for me? And if it's not, then we get to question it. We get to change it. So number 4, what do I believe about my work environment? So since we're talking about stress and the impacts of stress on our body, our mind, our spiritual health, our relationships, most of the time, work stress is maybe some of the stress that most of us feel. Even though in now's time, a lot of us may still be working from home, you might still feel that. And we have to ask ourselves, not only in a work environment, but really in a personal environment as well, are you surrounding yourself with people and environments that support you to becoming your best self, that support you in managing stress effectively, instead of just like driving all day long and never stopping and never resting and never allowing yourself to break? I used to have that mentality because I felt like if I wasn't doing that, I would become behind, and then to me, that meant not being successful. To me, that meant not being a leader. And those were meanings I chose for myself. So when I realized like, hey, this isn't working for me anymore, I'm getting burnt out, I'm physically getting ill because of this work ethic, I had to take a step back and realize that breaks are helping me become more productive. Like relaxing helps me be more productive. And that's a new story that I have taken on myself. Like when I take care of my mental, physical, spiritual health, I am so much more productive and positive and ready to like get shit done. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what I'm going to talk about next week in the self-care challenge. You can join me in on my Facebook group, Mind and Body Strong Tribe. Come join us. It's free. If you're on the podcast, come join us. Even if we're not running a free group, come join us. It's a community where I share a bunch of the videos and things I do on mind and body wellness, spiritual health, whole body wellness, right? I also wrote a note here. When we have been prevented from learning how to say no, our bodies end up saying the answer for us in the end. This is something that was so true for me. When I kept just saying yes to everything because I was afraid of all these other things, I had to get really honest with myself and say, is this working for me? And it wasn't. So ask yourself those questions, okay? Your body is going to tell you no when you don't learn how to. So ask yourself those questions. So go back over, watch this video over as many times as you need, or listen to the podcast. I'm going to throw this up on the podcast as well. And ask yourself, like, where is your body holding on to that stress? Go and listen to that gut meditation. Whew. I hope you guys got some value from this today. Thank you so much for listening. I love sharing this stuff with you. And if this resonated with you, make sure to reach out to me. I do one-on-one coaching as well, where I really take you through to hold you accountable to creating the big, beautiful life you deserve, and it's just helping you to manage anxiety and take control in your life. So reach out to me. We can schedule a free call. Let's see if coaching is right for you. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Mind and Body Strong podcast. You are what makes this movement and message possible. If you loved this episode, share it with a friend, a coworker, a family member, or take a screenshot and share it on your favorite social media platform and tag Mind and Body Strong. To learn more about coaching and courses to help you take your journey to the next level, visit mindandbodystrong.com.